Located on a narrow strip on the North Island, Auckland is a city of volcanoes with ridges of lava flows forming its main thoroughfares and its many cones providing islands green parklands within the sea of suburbs. The city's maritime climate ensures that temperatures never go to extremes, but a typical Auckland day might consist of all four seasons. Rain, hail or shine, the locals love the outdoors. Whether it's strolling across the green parklands, digging up clams along Cox's Bay, rolling around in a Zorb or abseiling along the Hunua Falls, Auckland offers an ever-expanding selection of outdoors fun. Aucklanders identify with around 30 different cultures. The Maori, Europeans and Asian communities rub shoulders with the biggest Polynesian population of any city in the world. The mix results in a cosmopolitan city with a respect for nature underpinned with mythology and meaning. Rugby plays a special part in the nation's consciousness. The All Blacks dominated international rugby union for most of the 20th century, and taking over this pastime from the British upper class did wonders for their national identity, with the game now interwoven with the country's history and culture. Head to a game at Eden Park and watch the players proudly perform the haka kamate before a rugby test match. It's an awe-inspiring war dance that involves chanting, vigorous body movements and pukana. The impossible-to-miss Sky Tower is the pinnacle of the Sky City complex. The 328-metre high tower is the tallest man-made structure in New Zealand, with its main observation deck offering 360-degree views of the sprawling city. On a good day, you can even count around 20 of the city's 48 volcanoes. Take the plunge from the country's highest base jumping platform. It's sure to give you an adrenaline rush.
Perth is the west coast of Australia in the very southwest pocket of the country, which means it's a long way from anywhere else. Perth is culture, beach and indie rock. Go over and have this epiphanous moment where they realise that there's this beautiful city that has so much to offer but is something of a secret. The heartbeat of Perth is its community. The beachside suburbs like Scarsborough or Cottesloe have their own culture. Like, you get up in the morning, the first thing you do is go for a swim on the beach. Everything's done outdoors all year round, whether it's summer or winter, and that's because Perth is always warm. Everything in Perth is at a much more relaxed pace. Wear thongs and shorts for about a week to acclimatise. The best view in Perth is undoubtedly from Kings Park at about sundown. You get to see the light fade over the city, and then you get to see the city twinkle as the city lights come up. Fremantle is a must-see. It's really old. Margaret River's about 3 hours drive south of Perth. There's really great beaches around there, so lots of surfies come to hang out in Margaret River, but lots of gourmet foodies come too, because there's really good food. There's boutique breweries and there's these wonderful wineries, and you really need about 3 people in the car because you've got to take the driving days in turn.
Cultured and cool, the Finnish capital of Helsinki is a charming city to explore. As one of the most sparsely populated cities in Europe, the pace here is unhurried and relaxed, the locals friendly and welcoming. Surrounded by sea on 3 sides and boasting a blend of wonderful architecture, it's easy to see why Helsinki is often regarded as one of the most livable cities in the world. The focal point of Helsinki is Senate Square. Bounded by majestic neoclassical buildings, the square is dominated by the city's most impressive landmark, the Lutheran Cathedral. Pristine white with green and gold domes. On a clear day, the cathedral absolutely gleams. Just a stone's throw away is Helsinki's other cathedral, the Russian Orthodox Uspensky Cathedral. With its copper roofs and onion domes, the Uspensky is one of the most visible reminders of Russian rule over Finland, which lasted for 108 years until 1917. Helsinki is also home to another remarkable religious building, unlike any other in the world, the Rock Church. Quarried into solid granite, the church is Helsinki's modern architectural masterpiece. Inside the church is circular, with a ring of glass allowing natural light to beam in. Thanks to its rough, exposed walls, the acoustics in here are perfect, making it a popular venue for concerts. Another of Helsinki's more unusual landmarks is the Sibelius Monument, a tribute to Finland's greatest composer, Jean Sibelius. Located in the serene Sibelius Park, this huge sculpture consists of 527 steel tubes. Visit the park on a breezy day, and you may be lucky enough to hear the harmonious sound of the wind blowing through the tubes. A fitting tribute to a man who composed 7 magnificent symphonies. With Helsinki almost entirely surrounded by the sea, a boat ride out into its archipelago is a charming way to experience some of Finland's finest scenery. Gently cruising the crystal clear waters of the Baltic, you'll pass stunning little islands and some enviable secluded villas. Back at Helsinki waterfront, a bustling open-air market awaits. It's a fabulous place to browse for colourful handicrafts and souvenirs, or even have a bite to eat. Delicious breads and pastries, summer berries, and the freshest of fish. The open-air market has some mouth-watering temptations. With a charming atmosphere, a beautiful setting, and a wealth of sights, Helsinki is a delightful city to explore.
Capital of the state of New South Wales and home to over 4.5 million people. Surrounded by the rolling Pacific Ocean, 2 dramatic headlands stand as a timeless gateway to one of the world's most beautiful harbours. Blessed with over 100 beaches, bathed in year-round sunshine and buzzing with a youthful vitality, when it comes to the good life, Sydney is hard to top. Sydney's heart is the harbour. What began as a penal colony in 1788 would within a century be transformed into paradise. From its rough and tumble beginnings in an area known as the Rocks, Sydney soon threw off its convict shackles and blossomed into a gracious city, filled with Victorian architecture and public gardens. New arrivals came by the boatload in search of a new life. The city expanded into gorgeous inner-city suburbs like Paddington, harbour neighbourhoods like Rose Bay, and into beachside communities up and down the coast. For first-timers, Sydney can feel like a maze of beaches, headlands, bays and coves. The quickest way to find your bearings is to take a trip to the top of Sydney Tower. From over 800 feet up, the observation deck offers 360-degree views of the entire city. Once you've come to grips with the layout of the city, head to Circular Quay, Sydney's version of Grand Central Station. From Circular Quay, you can get just about anywhere by ferry, water taxi or train. Just to the right, like white sails billowing in the breeze, is the Sydney Opera House. You don't need a ticket or tuxedo to explore this incredible performance venue. Whichever way you look, inside or outside, up or down, the Opera House is nothing less than an architectural miracle. Just behind the Opera House, on the site of Sydney's first farm, are the Royal Botanic Gardens and the Sydney Domain. Here you'll find Government House, the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and some of the leafiest views in Sydney. To the left of Circular Quay stands the famous coat hanger, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. One of Sydney's famous sons, Paul Hogan, the star of Crocodile Dundee, was a painter on the bridge before he hit the big time. But you don't need to work on the bridge to enjoy the views from the top. Simply strap on a safety harness and join a bridge climb tour. Just across the bridge at Luna Park, you'll find Sydney's most famous smile. The rides are a little on the vintage side, but the locals wouldn't have it any other way. This heritage-listed fun park has been thrilling Aussie families since 1935. Just a short ferry ride from Luna Park is Darling Harbour, one of Sydney's urban renewal triumphs. Once the site of rusting railway yards, Darling Harbour is now home to the National Maritime Museum and popular parks, bars and restaurants. Only a few blocks away, you'll find the Powerhouse Museum, a celebration of steam, space and science. A short walk across the Pyrmont Bridge is the Sydney Sea Life Aquarium, where you'll experience many of Australia's maritime environments, from the Great Barrier Reef to the rugged South Coast. Australia has a reputation as a land of creatures that bite, sting and can even rip off your whole arm. At the Wildlife Sydney Nature Park, say g'day to some of the world's deadliest creatures, as well as some of Australia's most cuddly. But for the zoo with the view, hop back on the ferry and cruise over to Taronga Zoo. Ride the cable car to the top of the hill and follow the paths back down, past some of the happiest and most relaxed looking creatures you'll ever see. And who wouldn't be with views like this? When it's time to cool off, grab your towel and head to Bondi Beach. You haven't experienced Sydney until you've felt Bondi's golden sand between your toes. The beach is patrolled year-round by bronzed Aussie lifesavers, but always remember to swim between the flags. Another famous seaside suburb not to be missed is Manly. The 30-minute ferry ride from Circular Quay to Manly Wharf is all part of the adventure. Go for a dip in the gentle harbourside waters of Manly Cove, or head through the historic Corso to Manly Beach. If you've never tried surfing, pack your board shorts. This is the place to learn. Feeling energetic? Hike the coastal paths and bush tracks to North Head for some incredible views back to the city. So, you've climbed the bridge, tackled some Bondi waves and wrangled the wildlife. No doubt you're feeling a little thirsty. Time to partake in one of the great Sydney traditions. Join the locals by the water, raise your ice-cold beer and make a toast to paradise.
With over 200 cellar doors on its doorstep and home to world-class arts festivals and sporting events, Adelaide is a city that loves a celebration and relishes good living. It's about fine food and wine in its many acclaimed restaurants and cafes, beautiful surroundings, and an unhurried lifestyle that entices you to take the time to indulge. Adelaide is Australia's 5th largest city. With just over 1 million residents, it's home to more than 70% of the state's population. Nestled between the hills and the sea, Adelaide enjoys a Mediterranean climate with mild winters and hot, dry summers. Adelaide Airport, just 15 minutes drive from the city centre, is well serviced by both domestic and international airlines. Expect flight times of 1 hour from Melbourne and 90 minutes direct from Sydney. Adelaide is also the starting point of the Ghan Railway journey to Darwin. The first place in Australia to give Aboriginal people and women the vote. is also the home of some of the world's best art, music and literary festivals, including the world's second largest fringe festival, WOME Adelaide, and the acclaimed Festival of Arts. Then, of course, there's sport. As well as boasting arguably the best cricket ground in the world, Adelaide is home to the annual adrenaline rush of the Clipsal 500 Adelaide Motorsport event and the Santos Tour Down Under, the race at which Lance Armstrong made his comeback in 2009. Set beside a river and surrounded by parklands, everything in Adelaide is within easy reach, including the Southern Hemisphere's largest undercover produce market, the shopping mecca of Rundle Mall with more than 600 shops, and the cultural precinct of North Terrace, boasting art galleries, museums, the National Wine Centre, and the world's largest collection of Aboriginal artefacts. Sandy beaches are just a 20-minute tram ride from the city centre at the seaside suburb of Glenelg. And Adelaide's incredible array of affordable, top-notch eateries means great food and wine are always just around the corner. Adelaide boasts a huge range of excellent accommodation, from 5-star hotels to luxury apartments and budget-friendly seaside cabins. Best of all, Adelaide is the gateway to Australia's most